The other big name of this class that I think you everyone can feel good about is a good player. Perhaps isn't dominant, but I think he has Pro Bowl potential. Is Keeanu Benton, the Wisconsin guy? Um, he played like Mozzie. He played nose tackle for them. Um, and but I think that he projects more as a three technique. He did play some three technique for Wisconsin, but I think in the NFL he projects toward three technique, but or four eye. But for the Seahawks purposes, because of that versatility, really he could play all three spots on the interior. He could even play like four eye, maybe some super heavy five, but I don't think that would be necessary. Um, but first and foremost, I think he's a run defender. But there is some real potential as a pass rusher, more like in the strength power arena. Uh, kind of, he's a bull rusher, but then he's got counters off of it and like a good counter club, pretty heavy club, almost like a hunt move that he can use. Um, his run defense, and we'll talk about it, can get a little funky at times. He can get high. He can play high. That's why I think ultimately he projects as more of a three technique, more of an end in a 3-4 scheme. Um, but I still just think he's like just really strong. Like when he has good games, like when he's playing well, because he does have games or series where he's not playing as well as he normally does. But when he is playing well, it's like it's clobbering time. Like he's just clobbering people. I don't know how he's only listed at 305. He seems way bigger than that. But
He looks
Maddie,
huge. He
yeah,
looks absolutely huge. Like I don't understand.
he plays huge too.
And he measured in 6'3" and 6'8" of an inch, so 6'4". But he looks, and this is kind of a negative, like I was saying about how Mazzy Smith is, 5'10" guy who's actually 6'3". Benton's like 6'6". He looks like, and that's kind of because, like you were saying about his run defense being a bit patchy. Like there's technique stuff where his pad level is just too high, and he is an example of how college football scheme and the way that defenses work is often kind of detrimental to seeing like the technique that a lot of the NFL teams use in terms of their run defense. So like it's not necessarily like his fault a lot of the time, and it's just that if you're going to move people Wisconsin moved their front quite a bit. If you're going to play certain techniques that just NFL teams don't use, then you're not going to get the same kind of reps that the NFL teams are going to want or ask for. And so then you have to kind of project things. And like in terms of the testing, like Benton is very, very suitable for Seattle. Uh,
He had a good three cone, which is surprising.
34-inch long arms, 9'3" broad jump, which is very, very good, impressive for a 309-pounder. 29.5-inch vert. The 10-yard split of 1.79 seconds isn't amazing, like especially if he's going to be playing like more of a three tech than a nose, which I agree kind of suits his game. But yeah, that 7.34 seconds three cone is like very surprising. But anyway, let's get to his tape. So this is a very kind of Jekyll and Hyde game against Ohio State. There's a lot of tape. They struggled to get off the field. Ohio State are a good team. Wisconsin had a bit of a down year as well, which you sort of have to factor into the equation. And yeah, we'll just roll it through. You'll be able to see who it is on the broadcast without me pointing it out because of how big he is. Um, the annoying thing with Wisconsin as well is they had a number 56, and that looks really like number 95.
So
But that
he plays nasty. Is one thing I like about him.
Yeah, he hits people.
Yeah,
But
he
it's just like
loves to
weird.
play.
Like why do they turn like this just to
I don't know.
just keep off combos? I mean, it kind of
Well,
works,
I
but
think he's actually worried about because it's outside zone blocking.
They just run to turn. And again, like Seattle doesn't coach turn and run like this. They want to stay square as often as possible.
Yeah,
Different style.
he's got a bubble to his side, and I think he's worried about his ability to stay square and move fast
Yeah.
enough.
Yep.
But I mean, he makes it work for him.
Sure. It's a pretty huge first strike because this is RPO. Like he's set a new edge here if that just gets handed off.
Yeah, I mean, he dwarfs guards that he's covering up.
That's why I don't get
How is he only 3'10"?
Like Mazzy Smith is like a foot smaller than this guy. Like no.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
The measurements, they're not correct. The stiffness.
Yeah.
But that's not going to be his game.
No, you want him in a phone booth. Like, he's a phone booth player.
Yeah, and so like within their scheme, they have to kind of ask their guys to do some certain things. But like, he's just massive. I don't.
Okay. By the way, if you roll it back, really quick, I just want to bring this up because it's an opportunity. So like Mozzie, like this isn't bad effort, but when toward the end of the play he starts to jog, Carter never stops running here. Like Carter would jog even if he's just jogging. He's jogging all the way to the pile.
Yeah.
And like what Benton is doing is normal. That's not abnormal. That's not low effort. That's just he knows he's not affecting the play. Why tire himself out?
Realistically, like there's a million plays where he doesn't do anything, but there might be one play where the ball gets fumbled out and then he ends up somehow landing on the ball. Like it's very.
Yeah. But it's just with Carter, he keeps running. And if we're going to talk about his effort, then we should acknowledge the fact that he keeps moving his feet even after the play's long.
I don't want to talk about his effort because it's just I don't understand that as a knock. I just don't.
Yeah, it's just frustrating. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. You've been on the apps. The people have been saying things, and like I really don't want him moving because as soon as he moves, he gets high. Guys get underneath him. It's just like bad positions. I was like shocked how bad this first half was.
It's just goal line scheming there, I think. But
yeah, oh no, yeah, I get why. Like here as well, this is getting sealed out unless he was purposely jetting, but I don't think so.
Well, so with him, when he does jet, because Wisconsin will push the nose, so a zero technique nose tackle, they will push him into the front side A gap for certain things to change the fit for the second level. When he does that, he makes a point of trying to cross face and get all the way in that gap.
Yeah.
So I think this is him just getting moved.
Yeah.
And so like, as you can tell, like this is a kind of a pad level thing. He's presenting too much hitting surface to the right guard.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also why he should be a 3 technique, ultimately.
Absolutely. And he's not like the best open field mover. Like he just looks he's just big and huge, and like it looks like he's hurt his hamstring constantly. But like it's a big guy. Like
yeah, he's the biggest 310-pound man I've ever seen.
Now, this I put as ineffective pass rush. Now, let's see if my hurried notes are correct. It was quick game, though, but I'm saying he should get hands off him here. Yes.
He's too high with his... Well, actually, he's not.
Misses his first hit. Doesn't get the handoff with the first club.
And he does... If he has an outside move, it is a club move. So this is his go-to, and it doesn't work here.
Okay, here I've put awful 3 technique rep. Here we have him as the 3 tech. I think this is a guard getting under high pads. That's what we'll get here.
Yeah, Yikes.
This is my thing with him. He just plays so tall. Like I don't know how.
Well,
Like,
look
you
at
can
his
only do
feet
so
too.
much.
His feet doesn't make any sense here.
Yeah.
I think that's just a shot rep. I think it's just a shitty rep all around from him.
Okay. He's here. But I'm gonna be honest and say like after the first half of this game I was pretty much out because yeah I just didn't like the pad level. I didn't see where you'd play him along the line other than just being a big guy who's a really good tester, which that's stuff to work with. But like,
Got to keep the faith though.
yep, and
Yeah.
maybe he's a really nice chap. Apologies
I
if you
mean,
are high character.
OSU is not a good game for him. It is his bad game.
Well, we'll get to the second half because that's where like I started seeing it. Um, I don't understand what the defense is here either.
Yeah, it's strange. What's the down and distance on this one?
Second and 10.
That's weird.
Oh, it's Tampa 2. But yeah.
Oh well.
Uh, here. Oof. So this is kind of you'll see this in the way that he pass rushes, but he loves dipping his shoulder and twisting his body. We saw it when he was like trying to chase and run that play earlier. But as a pass rusher, his ability to do that is pretty exciting. So we've kind of seen the first half here. So let me get to that pass rush stuff. This is beating the slide of the pass protection. So here he is his nose tackle, and he's able to squeeze through the gap. The quarterback, and that's a big man moving fast. Maybe there's a chance, Griff, that he did just slim down for the testing.
It's possible.
I don't understand. Like he just looks huge. But stuff like this
And
is
like like sometimes proportions can be misleading because like Mozzie Smith is jacked, right? So he's really dense.
I've put disgraceful next to this clip, so it's probably worth watching.
Is quite the sell. Yeah, that's bad. That's what Jaron Reed looked like in Green Bay last year.
Well, what
Unfortunately.
happens? He's let that a so to that point. Look how slow he is getting that foot in the ground. It doesn't
Yeah,
happen.
it's bad. There's no base.
So your dogs are getting upset about this.
Can you hear them? Oh.
I think it's time they had their say. Yeah. So, like, I kind of, yeah, I don't really know. This is a tough game. I saw the pass rush stuff. Like, his first step is very impressive. Like, he's going first on the text game here, but when he's getting after it up front, like, that's interesting. And from the side on angle, so that you can see. Now, the guy to look at would be, I think they're actually running a loop for this edge at the bottom of the screen. But look at his first step compared to this top of the screen outside linebacker. Like he's not too far off that.
Hmm.
Like there's some speed built up. Um. Oh, and I think here we finally have a good rep as a 2i, I think. Mm, 1-on-1, but foot in the ground, strikes through the guy, is able to win basically through two gaps, which is nice.
Yeah, he does have a knack for crossing face on lateral stuff.
Yeah, I like. I don't know. It just seems technique wise, just a lot to, especially like maybe he made it work kind of in this style of defense, but like for what Seattle's gonna want, and there's a lot of stuff to work on. And yeah, I'm not so sure. But like, where do you think he goes in the draft?
I think he goes in the second.
Yeah.
Just
So
because I think that he's the realest tackle after Mozzie. Um, Everyone else is either short arms or a little light or completely theoretical. His Northwestern game, MSU game, that's Michigan State, um, and I think Nebraska. I mean, he just pummels people. So I think that it's high end play strength and effort. The pad level doesn't become a problem in those games because he's just so much stronger than his competition. Um, you know what I mean? So it's not like he's kind of getting away with it with the high pads. He does some stuff. There's more bull rush in those games, especially from three technique. Um, so I think that stuff will get him drafted. But going against OSU, he's going up against a top tier line, and you see the issues start to crop up. That's probably, I mean, he's a second round player. He's not a first round player, and in some drafts he would go in the third, for sure. Uh, but again, like I think three technique, they can figure it out. I think the play strength is real. It's hard to find. I mean, like strength itself, we always think like quickness and explosiveness, but slow twitch strength is something that can be undervalued at times. So in the right scheme with the right coaching, I think that's a trait that can be leveraged. And I think he can make them better, but it's really more like just a solid player in the rotation,
mm,
and less so a guy that again is going to be transformative like Carter likely would be and Mozzie could be.